Welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Gisela K, and today we continue to look at the case of 16-year-old Kiely Rodni, who was a missing person from August 6th after attending a party at the Prosser family campground, where 200 to 300 teenagers and young adults attended this party, and Kiely went missing shortly after midnight. Sadly, she was found on August 21st in the water, very close to where the party was, at the Prosser Reservoir, by Adventures with Purpose. So well done to them for locating her vehicle, and yes, they confirmed there were human remains inside the vehicle. And then the following day, the Placer County Sheriff's Department and the Nevada County Sheriff's Department announced that an autopsy revealed that the identity of the decedent was in fact 16-year-old Kiely Rodni. Sending still condolences to her family, so much love and respect. I see there's quite a lot of, I don't know what to call it, going on online, with some content creators saying that the case isn't real, that she isn't real, and all of that, and that is of course very hurtful to the family. Steve Fisher, the PI who was there when in the days leading up to Kiely being found, who took the drone footage and who was there standing with Kiely's grandfather when they located Kiely's vehicle, has said that the grandfather is very, very hurt by those types of speculations of saying, well, Kiely's not real, the case isn't real. It's just very hurtful. So please don't encourage that, and please don't do that. So today, what I thought we could look at is Kiely's vehicle, because I see there's a lot of questions going around online about, was this vehicle an all-wheel drive, a forward-wheel drive, a rear-wheel drive? It's all these questions about the car, which I can understand why we're all focused on the car, is because I know we're all dying to know, was this foul play or not? I must say, after watching Adventures with Purpose, they've got a video called How to Escape a Sinking Vehicle. It is so scary how quickly a vehicle can actually do what they call a turning turtle, so it enters the water and then it kind of turns like that. It goes upside down and air pockets change, and it can be extremely disorientating. And if you do not get out that vehicle within like the first minute, it's very, very difficult to escape a vehicle that has just entered water. So it is very possible that this was just an accident. Nevertheless, it's still an incredibly tragic loss of a young life, of a beautiful person with a brilliant mind. This should have never happened. It's terrible. But I know that, well, to me it's 50-50, right? It could just be an accident, but Kiely's grandfather has told Steve that she really knew the roads well. She knew the area well. They went there often. Teenagers hung out at this area often. It wasn't like her first time going there to a party. She'd been there before. There's been parties that been out there before. Teens hang out there, so she knew the roads. It wouldn't be like she's suddenly just all lost and disorientated. I understand that people say, well, if she was super drunk or high or whatever, maybe she was disorientated then. Still possible. But the thing that I find the strangest is in analyzing the damage to the vehicle. Because in binge watching almost all of the Adventures with Purpose videos, I'd watched some before, but now I'm like, oh my word, like the more I watch, being immersed in a case like this, I'm like, they do incredible work, and it is really scary to think of a vehicle entering the water. I even showed Mr. Grizzly a video because I'm like, you need this tool. We don't have a car. We live in the Netherlands. We ride bicycles everywhere. Rain, shine, snow, whatever. That's our vehicle. But he does sometimes like travel for business. And I'm like, well, if you're in a vehicle with someone, I just think we need that tool. So I'm going to order some of those just so that we have them, on our keychains in case we ever get, I don't know, a ride with someone or something, or in an Uber or something like that. I still think it's a very valuable tool to have, because man, if you cannot break that window, and it's really hard to break. I'll show you little clips of some videos a little later in this video, where you can just see, even if you think, yeah, I'm going to smash it with my elbow, I'm going to, I don't know, use a tool that I have in the car, it's really hard to break a window. So the thing is that this window, that driver's side window being broken out like that, is very interesting to me. the way that it's not just like a little bit cracked or something, it's completely broken out. And with the damage to the side of the car, it leaves me, in my own mind, in my own personal opinion, to speculate that that convoy of cars that left at like 12:25, that they may have actually driven around this area, you know, and maybe they were doing donuts and doing wild car stunts, and maybe Kiely was in that convoy, and maybe a car hit her car by mistake on the side and knocked her over that slope, right? Like hit a car from the side, and maybe it tumbled and went into the water. I don't know, because I'm just looking at the damage. I'm looking at the smashed window. It's all very interesting. I can see that there's a guy holding, sorry, on this side, rope of some sort, like cord. So it looks like the same. It looks like it matches the one that's coming out of that window. So we don't know if law enforcement, in trying to get this vehicle out, broke the window. That I don't quite know. We're going to look now at some of Steve's tweets just to see if he cleared some of that up, because I know over time, every day, sometimes he tweets out a whole bunch and then clears up some stuff. So we'll have a look, but I just know that people are also speculating about that cord, that could have broken off the mirror, maybe. The car was also tilted to the side, kind of on the driver's side. It wasn't completely upside down. It was like on its side, if you remember that little clip from Adventures with Purpose. So that could be what broke that off. I find it interesting that the front wheel is so tilted, as if the front axle is broken or something. I also find it interesting that the headlights, man, those headlights, that, you know, if the car had entered the water that night, I would love to know, I need to research that. How long would the lights stay on? And how did no one notice it, right? Even though from the party area, you cannot see the water where Kiely's car was found. But still, I'm like, damn. You know, and then someone also pointed out the vegetation that you can see at the back of the vehicle. You know, some are speculating that that wouldn't ordinarily be found in a man-made reservoir. But I almost beg to differ. I think at this point, I mean, I don't know when this reservoir was made. I should look that up too, making notes. But I would think that there's some vegetation at the bottom. So that would make sense to me. But nonetheless, I see the speculation going around that that vegetation was from elsewhere. So all of that is very interesting. It could also come from the campground area. I'm just wondering if they all like sped off and drove around, did donuts, and by mistake, Kiely's vehicle was hit. Of course, I've also seen the speculation that someone else was driving the vehicle and Kiely was in the vehicle, and that they maybe drove in and got out through this window. That's another interesting one, and are too scared to talk because they got out and Kiely didn't. And it's so traumatic. I don't know. Like, what kind of accident happened then? You know what I mean? So when we say foul play, I think a lot of us, my mind has never once jumped to murder. It would be a situation of an accidental overdose or an accidental, you know, crash. So an accident, something like that, is what, in my mind, is the foul play speculation route. But yeah, we all are entitled to our opinions, and we'll have to wait to see what the toxicology report reveals, what the full autopsy reveals, if we get to see it, because we are definitely not entitled to it whatsoever, as much as the internet seems to believe we are. We are not. The family might choose to keep it private, but man, a lot of times I'm just looking at this vehicle and all the clips I can find, I'm like, it's very interesting. Now the thing is, when this vehicle was removed from the water, you could clearly see the back wheels turning. So, you know, that might imply that the vehicle was in fact in neutral. However, let me show you something. In pulling up the information of Kiely's vehicle, like her exact vehicle, right? It's a 2013 Honda CR-V LX. The VIN number's there, 4-door wagon, sport utility, and you can see there it says all-wheel drive. So it is AWD, all-wheel drive. Now I wanted to know, how does that work? If it's an all-wheel drive and all the wheels are turning as the vehicle's coming out, doesn't that mean the car is in neutral? Isn't that like this plus this equals that? But it's not quite like that. You know why? It's because with these cars, especially from the 2013 model and up, this all-wheel drive function kicks in automatically. Like there's like a little boost for, I believe, 6 seconds or so to help the car get grip if it needs it. If it's not in all-wheel drive mode, its default is then to forward wheel drive. So really, when we look at clips of that car coming out of the water, we must pay attention to the front wheels to know if the car is in neutral or not. Now, from the short clips I've seen, there's short clips where people have zoomed in. It does appear that that front wheel is turning slightly. However, it's also at such an angle that it seems like the front axle, or the axle, is broken, right? So I'm not sure if the speculative broken axle has anything to do with the wheel turning slightly. But man, if we could just see that vehicle being taken out from the side and see if the front wheels are turning, then we'll know if the car is in neutral or not. Again, why do we care if it's in neutral or not? One, because details matter, and two, that would then imply foul play, that the car was then placed there rather than being accidentally driven in there, crashed in there, or anything like that. So thank you to the Grizzly who sent me this full report. It's really helpful to see. We can also see, I just don't want to put anyone's names on here. Year purchased, owner 1, 2013, owner 2, 2015, and owner 3 is 2022. So that would be when Kiely got it. And they say estimated length of ownership, you can see there, 1 month in California. Before that, it was in Washington. So Kiely only had this vehicle for about 1 month. All right, and then what I did was I downloaded the manual of this 2013 Honda CR-V LX. And I just went to page 252 of this PDF, where they talk about this all-wheel drive. So they real-time all-wheel drive with intelligent control system. They say when driving, real-time AWD with intelligent control system. When the system senses a loss of front wheel traction, it automatically transfers some power to the rear wheels. This allows you to utilize all available traction and may increase mobility. You still need to exercise the same care when accelerating, steering, and braking that you would in a two-wheel drive vehicle. If you excessively spin all four wheels and overheat the AWD system, only the front wheels receive power. Stop until the system cools down. So I think on that gravel road, especially at not a slow speed, a medium to fast speed, this all-wheel drive system would have speculatively kicked in, right? We're yet to see what the black box of this vehicle reveals. That's going to tell a lot. I mean, the autopsy and toxicology report will tell a lot, but man, so will this black box of this vehicle. It will tell a lot. So before I move on, I wanted to show you that Kiely's mom on Facebook has said Kiely's gathering will be at the amphitheater at Regional Park on Saturday, September 10th. All are welcome. Details will be announced as they shake out. So there's going to be a gathering for Kiely at Regional Park Saturday, September 10th. And her mom says all are welcome. So I think that's really nice of the community to do as well. If there's any footage of it, of course, I will show you. You know, I'm watching this case, as I do with many cases, closely. I'm also watching the Lori Velo Daybell case closely, Alec Murdaugh. We've covered all of those extensively, so check out those playlists. I'm watching the Dylan Rounds case. There's actually a lot of cases that I'm watching. I just sometimes don't have the time or capacity to report on all of them. Sometimes for patrons and members, I take you guys on walks with me, and then we walk and talk about all these little updates and things like that. So if you're interested in that, like little updates along the way, or what I'm thinking, or what I'm analyzing at the moment, things like that, or documents, then that is available on Patreon mostly. So, okay, we will see that. Then I wanted to show you something. Okay, so if we look at this, you can see that those back wheels are turning really nicely. Look at that. Which, at first glance, would imply, oh my word, the vehicle is in neutral. But man, we need to see those front wheels. Carefully, we need to see those. You can also see that the tarp is placed all the way on the back of the vehicle. And the reason I say that is because I know the media is reporting that Kiely was found in the back seat. Some people are even adding strapped into the back seat. That's not been confirmed. No, that's not been confirmed. But speculatively, Kiely could have been as far back as way back, like all the way in the trunk area because of the way a vehicle enters the water and then does that turning turtle motion, and then goes nose down for a bit and the air pocket's changing. She could have swum to the back or floated to the back, all the way to the back. That is possible. So if she's found, or if she was found in that area, it would make sense based on how vehicles generally sink in water. Now I want to show you this clip here from Adventures with Purpose. It's called How to Escape from Your Car. I want to show you this clip because, man, yeah, they demonstrate how hard it is to try to knock out a window with your elbow or with a tool or something like that. So have a look at this.
Response would be an elbow, which sounds like a terrible idea.
Oh, I want to see you do the elbow.
I've seen you guys try to break windows.
You want to come over here and get this side?
Come on, Josh, with your elbow.
That looks painful, right? Oh my word. One might think I'm just going to smash the window out. Very difficult.
Oh, Josh. Is there anything else in there you might be able to use? Yeah, you try that. Alright, so that's not working. Alright, so you got your fancy little tool, 30 bucks. Oh, that's not working either, Josh! Try a corner.
This is scary.
Josh, why did you buy, let's just back up. Why did you buy that tool?
So I can feel safe, and so if something actually happened and in a situation, I'd be prepared.
Josh, if you were like underwater or like in a really bad situation right now, how freaked out would you be right now?
This would go from I know what I'm doing, I got this, to I'm about to die.
Now, what if what if Chelsea, your wife, and your newborn baby are in the car?
Seriously, yeah, it's terrifying.
Tell me about your heart rate right now. Like, put them in the car with you right now. Now, give me an answer.
I feel like I failed, and didn't do my job as a man, and to be able to escape from the situation, especially being confident in my tool, because I was confident in this tool about 2 minutes ago.
I was too. Like, it's a sweet looking little tool.
Yeah.
I was really confident in it too, just looking at it.
I'm also curious if this does the trick, because I pounded pretty hard on that window.
Now the tool that they have there is actually the one that you can buy on the Adventures with Purpose website, and it's less than $10 compared to his $30 one that he's got there, right? So have a look at this. With that blunt force right there.
Oh, so I watched you.
If this pops it, I mean, I'm thinking this window is different than the other ones so far.
So you just put it against the window. Whoa, Josh!
Dang, man, that was
what
awesome.
Do you think about that, Josh?
So, okay, besides the glass getting on my lap, I can definitely get my family to safety. I mean, honestly, like, the reason I would carry that knife anywhere I go is for this reason exactly, is if you flip a car lane in a river, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like, this is worth way more money in a situation like this than an expensive. It really, really is. So please go check out this video. I'm linking it in the description box. I also want to show you another video clip. So this is about, it's called How to Escape and Survive. And here immediately you can hear Doug Bishop from Adventures with Purpose say that so many vehicles are found upside down in the water, because some people are still kind of going on about, wow, the vehicle was found upside down or tilted. It wasn't fully upside down, right? And that could imply things, but that's generally how they are found. Also, if you want to know the exact location of the party, I see that that's also kind of still being speculated, which I find strange. Like Steve, the PI, literally went to the party location and shared a location pin with me, which I showed you guys exactly where that was, and we did an extensive map time of exactly where that party was held and what the line of sight would have been. Was there a line of sight from the party to where Kiely's car was found in the water? No, you wouldn't be able to see. Like if she had gone in the water with her headlights on, of course, you wouldn't from the party be able to see that. So everyone's speculating that that picture that Sammy provided, which I in my gut will never believe is a real picture from the party. I don't know if I've said that publicly yet. I have my reasons, I have my sources. But anyway, we're yet to see that. It's part of the investigation. So, yes, I just I take that picture with a pinch of salt. You know the one I'm talking about, the party picture. Because people are like, oh my word, they're looking at the water. They're looking at a vehicle in the water. They literally can't from where the party was happening. It wouldn't be possible from where it exactly was. Anyway, but
I hope one day it will be revealed that that picture was not actually from the party. That will be like, huh, makes a lot of sense. And also, wow. Wow. Anyway, so let's have a look at this.
Overwhelmingly, majority of the vehicles that we find are upside down. And what I'm guessing and what I put together is when they hit the water and they come out, they're semi-buoyant, but the wheels are rolling them and maintaining the control of what little buoyancy they have, and then they're dropping from the overwhelming weight, obviously.
Are doing exactly the wrong thing in that moment. We roll up the windows and hope for an air bubble or call 911.
What you're about to hear are actual 911.
Trigger warning. You're about to hear 911 calls from people that were stuck in their vehicles that had crashed into the water.
911 calls from people in sinking cars.
Help me!
I got fire department going.
I don't know what to do. The car is sinking. It's to my right. It's up to my right. It's going down fast. I can't get out.
I'm not making this video to sell you one of these. I'm making this video because I have seen things on this channel. I have seen things being a part of this team. It is very, very sad seeing somebody that tried to get out of their vehicle who was unsuccessful. It is very, very sad seeing all these accidents that possibly could have ended a lot differently if they had this knowledge. This isn't an infomercial.
So that tool right there, and I can see they've got a whole range of colors. It's actually got a seatbelt cutter on it, as well as the front of it you can put against the window and then it breaks the window. So that is amazing. Okay, so have a look at this.
Open the door. Water pressure makes this extremely difficult to do. And even if you could open the door, this would allow for even more water to come in.
Oh my God, it's coming up under the windshield. Wow, I can feel the pressure. All right. I only have a couple more breaths here.
After we aired that episode, we got a lot of new information about the fact that most cars, when they go in the water, they don't go in and then just sink. They actually go in and do what's called turning turtle. They go upside down. And that episode is the scariest thing that's ever happened to me on the show.
The plan works to perfection as the car pitches nose first and then settles roof side down.
I'm going to try and open it with my might. No. Okay. Stay calm. I did not expect it. Let me see if I can open this door. No. Okay. There's a lot to get caught up in this car, and my visibility is about to disappear. Here we go.
The car suddenly drops like a stone. It flips yet again, so it's back upside down. Remember that Adam's not wearing a dive mask, so his vision is even more blurred than this.
And imagine that at night. So scary. So I'm going to link this episode for you to watch as well. It's called How to Escape and Survive. How to get out of a sinking car, how to escape and survive. So please go check that out. It's a really, really good episode. Now I know many of you are curious about the developments of things that a content creator called Ryan Upchurch is saying. And the Placer County Sheriff's Department, this is their real account, sent him or commented on one of his Instagram posts and said, Ryan, check your DMs. He then checked his DMs and screenshotted it and shared it on his community tab on YouTube. They said, hi Ryan, we appreciate you. Feel free to share anything we have already put out on our accounts. We would like to ask though, if any information has not come directly from us, to please not speculate and throw the internet into a frenzy. It makes our job and detective jobs harder and potentially makes innocent people targeted. So there's that. I just wanted to show you this in case you haven't seen it. So they have reached out to him. I'm not too sure it's going to make a difference at this point. You know? So here they said, this is not our PIO. Please take the photos down immediately. So Ryan was speculating that he compared two pictures and said the public information officer is someone that knows someone else in all his speculations. And it's wild times. It's wild times there in the rabbit hole. Wow. What we want to focus on is, of course, respect for victims and the families of victims of crime or missing persons. So let's do our best to keep laser beam focus on that, and to even suggest that Kiely's not real, that the case is not real. Oh man, it's just so disrespectful to the families, to Kiely. She was very, very real. We've seen videos of her from when she was a child, you know, playing the fiddle with her grandfather. Just there's a whole digital footprint of Kiely Rodni, social media and everything. So, you know, we don't want to go the whole crisis actor route or speculate in a way that is so disrespectful to the victim and their family. It's hurt the family a lot. I'll show you quickly this. So here, Steve, the PI that provided the drone footage to us, and on Twitter, and I've played his Twitter spaces before. He said, I just got off a long call with David. That would be Kiely Rodni's grandfather, right? I'm not here to judge anyone. This case has been very emotional. I would just say to Ryan Upchurch, her family hears your claims that she's not real. They are very hurt and confused. Kiely is real. She was their life. So, yeah, Steve's posted a lot of good information out there, but of course, he gets trolled like none other I've seen on Twitter. My word. So he said, if anyone wants that video or anything else I posted on Kiely's screenshot it in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to delete content from the last few days. There's a group that only cares about hurting victims, including former law enforcement, has arrived. I will focus on Vlad this week, who they abandoned. So, vehcile, please check out his case as well. He is still missing. And if you look at my missing persons playlist that I've made for you guys, there are cases that we've deep dived, including vehicile's case, and we spoke to his sisters as well. So check that out if you haven't yet. Steve also says here, law enforcement would not tell us if she was clothed. We did ask. They are not giving information about lights or anything either. Someone asked Steve, did you need to check your vehicle in to the campground, right? Because usually you have to have a reservation and you can only have one vehicle per site, and the extra of $5. Just wondering if you're able to just drive in or had to stop at the little booth with the arm or anything. And Steve said, this camp area does not have one of those booths you're talking about. I know exactly what you mean, but this area is not paid to park or paid to use on site. As we've shown before, based on the exact location of the party, that wasn't where this booth is to pay for the campsites and things like that. You can literally just go there as the Rodni family spokesperson said. It's a public area. The teens go there all the time. They hang out there a lot. I wonder when the next party there will be. That's one question I have, because I'm like, whoa, everyone must be quite traumatized by this event, right? It will change that campground and the party vibe and everything there forever. I mean, some are even saying it should be renamed, right? To like Kiely's Park, something like that. I think that would be a very beautiful tribute to her, honestly. But of course, we have to first see what comes out of this investigation. I have shared in a previous video that Adventures with Purpose said in their Court TV episode, their interview, that they expect a lot of heavy stuff to come from this, which of course was very interesting language. They're not just, you see, the thing is, law enforcement and Adventures with Purpose and Steve the PI are not just saying, whoa, this person went missing on August 6th and phew, they were found on August 21st, case closed, found the missing person, done. No, this is a full-blown investigation, and if you watch all the press conferences, especially the ones after Kiely was found, it's all very interesting language, which to me, of course, they have to make double and triple sure that this, if this was just an accident or if there was foul play. I just find everything very interesting the way it's all worded. It implies that there is a possibility of this being foul play or a cover-up or something like that, or that someone else was involved. As Sammy said, she thinks someone else must be involved in this. Those were words, right? As in maybe cars, speeding, doing donuts, things like that, and an accident happening, right? Here, Steve also says, I deleted the last couple days of the Kiely Rodni case because people were saying I wasn't even there. I have nothing to prove. If they want to believe that, they can be misinformed. It just shows how bad of investigators there are. Certainly no FBI level investigating going on. I do not know. I had never ever met Adventures with Purpose before that day. I don't know why they released it on social media. I was with the father and grandfather searching at the time the news came over social media. I had nothing to do with AWP's decisions. We did not receive any call. Here, Steve said, the phone records alone are a huge amount of evidence. She was on a family plan. Accessing your current bills very easy, and if you wanted someone to analyze that because you are not getting law enforcement answers, is or was very easy to obtain. So that, based on what I know, implies that Steve may possibly be helping the family to analyze some phone records of Kiely Rodni, which, wow, that would be very, very interesting to see the exact timestamps of when messages were sent, calls were made, things like that, right? Location pings, all of that. Here is another clip of the car being taken out of the water, where I could see people debating heavily about the front wheels moving or not moving. It's a little bit blurry and the camera tilts now. I've looked at this a lot, but it does appear to right there, if you look at it, frame by frame, let's go. Now they tilt the camera, man. Look. There. And we look at it. There. Did you see that? The front wheel turned just slightly. I'll show you again. Watch the front wheel. There. It does turn. See? It's turning. Front and back. Ooh. Does that mean the car is in neutral? Maybe. And I think some people will be like, but maybe they put it in neutral, like underwater. I don't think you can even do that. Make a gear change like that underwater. Can you? Wow. I could watch this footage all day and just be like, what? Whew. So Steve says the front tires are moving. You can see the rims turning. Put in Premiere Pro and watch frame to frame. Not dragging, turning. But you don't need to report back your findings. I'm sorry I brought it up. It was a huge mistake, right? So, people attacking Steve about everything. The grandfather left before me. He went across to the other shore to meet his daughter. That would be Kiely's mother. I stayed until the car breached the water and they were putting tarps over the rear hatch. And here, Steve says there was only one broken window, because some people are like, oh, the window's all broken. Only the front driver's side, left-hand side of the car window was broken, and on the same side, from what we can see, literally visually, because some people are saying, how do you know? We can see it on the photo of the vehicle that the back window was halfway down, right? So here he says gravity. The car is facing engine down. Water gravity. Water weighs 8.3 pounds per gallon. It can't suspend in mid-air. There would be no power to the vehicle. It was underwater for 2 weeks. What happens when you turn a car off? When it's in drive, does your car roll away? No, it electronically locks the transmission. Okay. Starting to get clearer, right? The vehicle is equipped with an event data recorder, EDR. The main purpose of an EDR is to record in certain crash or near crash like situations, such as an airbag deployment or hitting a road obstacle. Now, we can't see an airbag, can we? We could not see an airbag deploying, which also makes the dent on the side and the way the car was and everything very interesting, right? So here Steve says, I will say all windows were not up. However, I do not notice the front window broken underwater. And AWP did not mention that, so I believe it broke during the roll. But I do not believe rumors that all windows were up is true. Okay, so there was this rumor that all the windows were up. Apparently not. It seems like the back window or back windows were rolled halfway down and that the front window was broken, and Steve here speculates it might have broken during the roll. They did not use float bags, you're right. I think that's why you see some damage to the car. They had the tow truck driver do a series of quick pulls of the car, while divers underwater manipulated the car with the help of the dive boat that was seen behind the car location. Here he says, I don't dispute it can be kicked into neutral. I think a car going with any decent rate of speed would have gone further out into the reservoir. There's a shelf drop-off, so I think only being in 14 feet of water shows it was a low-speed entry. Ooh, that's also interesting, right? Ooh, my word. He says FBI and local law enforcement would not say if the phone was in the car and what gear the car was in. If the car was in drive and pulled backwards, I personally do not feel the wheels would roll that freely. When a car is in neutral, it's disengaged completely and has no force working against it. Divers rolled the car on its wheels while it was underwater instead of dragging it out on its roof. They were afraid of the roof collapsing and losing evidence. And this footage I showed you guys in a YouTube short yesterday where Steve looked at some drone footage that he took and hadn't yet uploaded, and there you can see Kiely's vehicle in the water. Now this is one thing that Steve has put out there that I can talk about now. He said, I don't know if I agree. Mags, Kiely and Mags' mom had just arrived back from a vacation in Mexico. And from what I understand, it went really well. I doubt Mags is involved, if anyone's involved. So that is something that I was not able to talk about before. The speculation when I was like, is Kiely maybe in South America? Remember when I speculated that and everyone thought I'm crazy? I was putting two and two together a little bit. It seemed like a plausible explanation based on what the FBI was saying. The case being treated like an abduction, them saying they haven't located the vehicle, and of course knowing a while back that this holiday had occurred, that Kiely, about 2 weeks before she had gone missing, went on a vacation to Mexico with Mags and Mags's mom. So there you can see it on Steve's tweets, and that is why I speculated that. There's a lot that I actually myself keep very close to the vest. There's lots that I can't share publicly. I just share what I can, as we over time speculate or think about things or look at things. So yes, I'm very grateful for Steve and other investigators that I'm in contact with, and I will never break their trust. So I'm very, very grateful for the information that they are able to share. He said, I think I could be wrong, or I could be wrong, but I think the last location data the mom saw was at 12:03. That is what was reported. The last cell ping was at 12:33. The phone should constantly be pinging the closest tower so it knows where to send or receive data packets from, should you receive a call or text, etc. Right? And for anyone asking, Steve, did you have law enforcement experience before you started? Just curious. He said, for a short period of time, I was a fixed-wing pilot and flew for the Attorney General office in Texas, flying high-profile prisoners, and then did some contract work for an agency I can't disclose in the drug trafficking world, but never traditional patrol or detective work. He says, I'm told 75 kids did show up for those teen-to-teen meetings, although Sammy should not have diverted those leads to herself and made promises. I think she was outsmarted. I won't say more than that until the investigation is complete. Then I will tell the story. Okay, very interesting, right? I could honestly make a whole episode just reading Steve's tweets to you, but go and follow SF Investigate, so at SF_investigate, and you can read all these tweets for yourself as well. But for those of you who aren't on Twitter, I will, if there's anything very important like this to share, I will be sharing it with you. Okay, now I want to show you this clip.
Completely lift the front end up like that, so whatever's in there slides down to the back, and then but he also.
Okay, so that's just explaining why sometimes a person's belongings or even the person could be found all the way in the back of the vehicle. So thank you to the Kiely Rodni Missing from Truckee, California group for sharing this as well. Now on Facebook as well, on August 25th, the Nevada County Sheriff's Office said, earlier this week we had the opportunity to meet with Adventures with Purpose to debrief lessons learned from the search for Kiely Rodni. Their expertise in handling dozens of cases like this throughout the country was extremely helpful. We appreciate their humble approach to providing us with information and tools that will allow us to improve our capabilities. This was an extremely beneficial debrief, and we are appreciative of the time that they invested in this case. Keep up the great work, AWP. So that is really, really sweet of them to put out there as well and say. You can see some of the detectives and search and rescue representatives that we have seen at the press conferences present here with Adventures with Purpose. So that is awesome. Now on Facebook as well, Meg Kristen shared on the Kiely Rodni Missing from Truckee, California group. This is literally right next to the spot she was found, as in you can see the spot in the background of this photo. How were they searching right there and missed her? That is a scary thought, you know. They, from what I can see in this picture, yeah, they're very close to where the vehicle was found. As we say, the possibility still exists, speculatively, big speculation warning, that the vehicle was planted there afterwards. We just don't know. Like maybe when they scaled back the searches, which I believe was on a Friday, around the 19th or so of August, maybe that weekend the car was put there, and then no one calculated that Adventures with Purpose, oh man, they arrived and they found the vehicle in no time. Even though law enforcement told them, we've already searched this area, no need for you to search over here, apparently. That's what's been shared on the New York Post and other articles. I'm not sure if law enforcement said that or not, but that's what's being reported, is that they're like, don't check over here, it's okay, we've checked it. And then Adventures with Purpose went there because that's where Kiely's phone last pinged, so they're like, well, their The way they operate is to see where was the person last known to be, or their phone, and then they go there and search there, right? They have to cross that off their list, and so they went there and they found her vehicle in 14 feet of water. Well, that's it for now. I think those are some of the loose ends that we've tied up just a little bit, as we of course are waiting for the full autopsy report, toxicology reports, and the black box reports, and the investigation to unfold, which we may never actually know the results of, but I do hope that we will know the results of it, whether it was a sheer accident or whether there was any cover-up or foul play or anything like that involved. We shall see. Time will tell. Thank you so much, Grizzlies, for keeping the chat respectful and considerate towards Kiely and her family, because as if you saw my community post today, family is watching. They do watch YouTube videos, and sometimes it can be extremely hurtful, especially if people are implying that Kiely didn't even exist. Kiely very much existed. Her loss is a huge loss to her family, to the truckie community, to all her friends, and of course to the world. Because when we immerse ourselves in these cases, we get attached sometimes, right? We want to know what happened to this person. Why did this happen? And what can we do to help either spread awareness or to help them fight for justice, or just to even learn lessons from it so that maybe it could save someone's life in the future. Thank you so much for being here. If you're brand new here, please hit the subscribe button and the bell so that you know when I'm next uploading. If you do like the way that I cover true crime, and hit the thumbs up. Share this episode on social media. That's always helpful as well. Thank you so much for being here. If you are already a Grizzly, if you're a YouTube member, a patron, if you support the work that I do, I really, really appreciate you so much. And I will see you again soon. Stay safe. Trust your gut instinct. Be mindful of those red flags. And see you in the next one.